grown up going to church, but I didn't really understand why God would care about my first world problems.
I didn't grow up Christian, but as a child I grew up believing that there was a greater power.
But I didn't know how to live and I couldn't figure it out and I wasn't truly happy.
I kind of told myself I don't really need Jesus either because I know how to love. I'm a loving person.
My faith was something I sort of just adopted from them. Because they believed in Jesus, then it must be true.
Yet there was always a separation between what I knew and what I believed.
The weakness of my faith was evident. I got brought down by the very secular culture of Silicon Valley pretty quickly.
And so I ended up becoming certified in Reiki. I really was honestly searching for answers.
Anyway, so I ended up in New York of all places, and I felt like God was chasing me.
He led me to New York City, where I was to attend Columbia University. Little did I know, he had greater plans for me.
In August 2017, when I moved to New York, I had a conversation about faith and Christianity with my uncle and aunt Veronica and Brad, and decided to come to the church with them.
I was on one of my drinking binges. My eyes were bloodshot. I remember that. My suit was stained. I looked in the mirror, and it was like a visceral, loud, clear voice coming into my head saying, no more, like this is not who you are.
I didn't know how to handle the situation, so I went home that day and prayed for the first time in a while. I could feel God telling me to lean on Him and to trust that people will be there for me and I shouldn't try to shut Him out.
It was then when I felt a sense of relief for the first time in my room.
The next day, she came to me and she was like, God had me awake all night telling me about you and how much He loves you.
I just felt and immediately knew in an instant, it's Jesus.
I remember praying to God, crying out of my room and saying, I'm not perfect and I never will be. Please forgive me. And I just heard God laugh. He knew. He had always known I wasn't perfect. As long as I tried to hide from Him.
And maybe that makes me stubborn, but He came and found me anyway. And I thank Him and I give my life to Him from here on out.
And I surrendered my life to Jesus.
I realized after this whole situation that I deeply wanted to follow God. And not just because my parents and some of my friends have, but because I felt the Lord work.
But that is the beauty of the gospel, that while we are still in sin, Christ died for us.
But I also felt like a filling up, a literal, actual feeling of as if something had just been poured into my body. And now I know that's the Holy Spirit.
I'm not a slave to fear anymore as I once was. I'm repairing an old relationship that I didn't know I needed back, tripping and falling along the way, but making progress.
All this journey of mine was moving from a culture of you're not enough, you have to earn, you have to work for it, to a family where you are accepted for who you are.
It still amazes me how my journey has come full circle. I almost feel like a kid again, but this time I know that I'm a child of God.
I moved all the way through the spectrum from finding Christianity impossible to interesting to beautiful to the only way I want to live.
I'm ready to leave this old identity behind because it has become too heavy to carry.
It was the love that created me, the love that rescued me, the love that delighted in me, and